Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, today inshallah ta'ala we would like to continue our discussion on gender, the concept of gender, and we are in lesson 3 and we've completed A, B and C. Today inshallah we will look at lesson 3D. Now just to remind the learners and brothers and sisters that remember we said in Arabic by default or the default gender is the masculine gender. In other words, we treat words to be masculine unless we can find some reason or sign that can tell us it is no more masculine but feminine, mu'annas. The work that needed to be completed was for lessons 3, A, B, and C, those activities. The answers can be found on the link below this YouTube video. Going into today's lesson, Lesson 3D, we are looking at other ways of understanding the word to be feminine in Arabic, and today we will be discussing some signs of feminine. Sign 1. In Arabic, the word would end in a ta marbuta. This is a ta marbuta called the round ta in English. Now, when we look at the word salatun, we can see the ta marbuta is highlighted here, making us understand it is feminine. When we stop on the word salatun, we normally say salah, but we want to bring out the tun, so that's why we're reading it as salatun. Similarly, look at the word zakatun. You can see the ta marbuta is highlighted, making us understand that this word is feminine. Zakah when we stop. Sign number 2, the word would end in an alif mamduda. Now, mamduda comes from the word also mad, and this is the mad that you see, like the stretched alif, prolonged alif. Now, what this basically means is that you're going to see an alif followed by hamza and that long mad. In Arabic, we get the short mad and the long one. The long mad is normally written on top here. So that all together is understood to be alif mamduda. So when we look at the word sama'un, we can see alif hamza and there's the mud on the top, which means heaven, and this word is feminine. Likewise, we look at the word safra'u. There's the alif hamza and there's the mud, because the mud brings out the pulling, the stretching sound. Safra means yellow, and we know it's now feminine. Now remember, when we're reading Quran, we'll apply the rules of tajweed, where we will pull sama'un safra'u. But when you're learning Arabic, as we are learning now in the lesson, you would just say sama'un and safra'u without the pull. Sign number 3, that the word is feminine, it would end in an alif maqsura. Now alif maqsura, because you hear the word alif, you might want to see alif. No, it's called alif maksura, but alif maksura means the letter ya with that fatha qa'ima on top, fatha muqaddara, or we call it the kara zabar in Urdu, the standing zabar in English. That's what it means. Now that gives an a sound. So we look at the word usra, 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 in a full mouth, empty mouth. What you find here is that there is the ya and there's the fatha qa'ima, fatha muqaddara. That makes us understand usra, which means difficult, is feminine in Arabic. Similarly, we look at yusra, yusra, yusra. What we see is the ya with that alif qa'ima, fatha qa'ima, sorry, and which means ease. And yusra is feminine because it has the alif maqsura at the end. So we can see sign 1, 2, and 3. These are 3 signs that makes us understand that these words are all feminine on this particular slide. Whenever we learn grammar rules, there will always be exceptions to the general rule. The general rule is that a word ends in ta marbuta is treated as feminine, or it is feminine. But we look at the word khalifatun here, we see the ta marbuta is highlighted, yet it is understood to be masculine and not feminine. Khalifa means vicegerent successor, a caliph. Another exception is the word ulama'u. It ends in alif mamduda, but yet it is treated as masculine and not feminine, and that means scholars. So this is an exception to the general rule. The other example is Yahya. Yahya, what do we notice, ends in alif maqsura, the ya with the fatah qa'ima, the standing zabar. Yahya. But what we find here is that obviously this is a masculine. Either you treat it as a name of someone, as it appears here, or even if it comes in the form of a verb, we know that this particular word now is masculine and not feminine. So this is an exception to the rule. We can now turn to the book. We're on page 33, lesson 3D, gender al-jins by signs. So did you know there are some nouns which are feminine by signs? Sign 1, it ends in round ta, ta marbuta. And these are the examples. The example added here is ka'batun. We normally say ka'ba when we're stopping. But to bring out the ta marbuta, we say ka'batun. There's the ta marbuta highlighted. So we know ka'ba is now feminine in Arabic. Then the example, which is an exception to the rule, was khalifatun and af'idatun. It has a ta marbuta, which means hearts, but it is now treated as masculine and not feminine, exception to this particular rule or sign 1. On page 35, you'll find sign 2, the alif mamduda, sama'un safra'u. I'm just reading with tajweed so you can understand the mad, but you need to just say sama, safra, sawa'un, sawa, baghda'u when you're reading Quran, and when you just learn it as a vocabulary word, baghda'u, which means hatred, and sawa'un means similar. So what we'll find, ulama'u is an exception to that particular rule. This is sign 2, alif mamduda. Sign 3 is alif maqsura. You have untha, which means female, husna, better, yusra, we did it ease, usra, we did difficult, and duha, like salatul duha, the dawn prayer, early morn or forenoon, different English words you could use. We've just went by the word dawn. Now the example that is an exception is Yahya. Either you take Yahya to be the name of someone, and Yahya is also used as a verb in Arabic. It's still going to be masculine. The activities will now appear on the following pages. Page 34 is for sign 1, the ta marbuta one. Look at Surah Al-Humaza and you can circle all the words that end in round ta marbuta, and answer number 2 here at the bottom. This particular activity on page 36 is connected to sign 2, the alif mamduda, and you can just draw the corresponding, draw a line to the corresponding pictures here. And then page 38, activity is connected to sign 3, the alif maqsura, and you will just follow the instruction here and complete the work. Then you go on to page 39. This activity, you need to tick the correct answer. The words are given from number 1 to 8. Duha, safra, zakatun, untha, baghda'u, yusra, sufaha'u. Now, sufaha means foolish people. Fools or foolish people in the plural sense. And usra. You need to state, or by ticking the answer here, like duha, is it belonging to sign 1, 2, or 3? So you put the tick in the correct block here. So this is an activity that will just make us understand all 3 signs. Sign 1, 2, and 3. Ta marbuta, alif mamduda, alif maqsura. Very easy to learn and understand. So that's all for today's presentation. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.